One of the biggest mistakes that artists are making is that they are letting their art sit in their studio for years on end where nobody will see it. What they should be doing is to push it at least out there, perhaps not in an exhibition with a gallery, but just out there, because their artworks are employees that can market and sell themselves automatically. But for that to happen, the artworks first need to hang on the wall in the first place. And so in this video, we will be giving you 17 lucrative art exhibition ideas to easily exhibit your art, some of which actually have the potential to blow up your art career in a couple of months max. So let's dive in right away. First ideas in this list are exhibitions in alternative spaces. I'm thinking about flower shops, furniture shops, restaurants, things like that. If you are a painter and you are painting flower landscapes, then you're probably better off exhibiting your art in a flower shop than in the average gallery. And there are a lot of opportunities here. Let's take, for example, restaurants. They have to renew their interior on a regular basis to increase the retention of the customers and therefore the lifetime value of the customers, and that's a lot of work. That's a lot of work. They don't have interior architects that can do that for them, and so they have to do that themselves, which means that you offering that as an opportunity, your art in their space, is a huge help to them. So you can very easily get exhibitions by doing that. I, for example, did this myself several years ago in Lesko, a Michelin star restaurant, as you can see. Next one is the van life art exhibition, the idea of the moving archer. Now, one of the benefits here is obviously that you can go very quickly from city to city, from big art event to big art events, reaching a lot of people that you could otherwise not reach with just one permanent exhibition space. And on top of that, you also have that natural scarcity going on. If people don't go to your moving art exhibition this weekend, then you will be gone to another city and it's going to be too late, and so they have to go this weekend. That type of mentality. Now, on top of this, this is huge. On top of this, van life as a keyword is booming on YouTube massively. It's one of the few things that if people create a van life type of video, the first one already blows up and gets millions of views. And so if you would also make YouTube videos about your moving van life art exhibition, then you can probably get more views on your YouTube videos than the big galleries are getting for their art exhibitions at this moment. Third exhibition idea is one of my personal favorites, and is a great way to showcase what you as an artist can do, what your hands can create, more precisely your thumbs. By giving this video a thumbs up, it will only take you 2 seconds and would help me a lot with the algorithm. It's like Pablo Picasso said, good artists copy, great artists like the videos of Dries Ketels. And if he says it, well, then it must be true. Next up are the Juried art shows. Now, with these things you have to be very careful, because most of them are completely worthless and are actually ripping artists off. Most of them only get money coming in from the submission fees of the artists themselves and have no incentives whatsoever to invite collectors, market the art of the artist, or sell the art. Then you have the daredevil approach, where you go to a museum, a famous museum, and you hang your work on their walls without their permission. If you have some good PR strategies, you can easily turn this into a major PR campaign where a lot of magazines will cover you, because those types of articles of those illegal type of events, they really go viral, and so journalists are very likely to write about you doing something like that. Another way to exhibit your work is to use Airbnb, where you will go to famous art cities like London, Berlin, Paris, New York, and then you go to the higher end listings, and then to those homeowners you offer your art in their homes. So this is great for those people, because then they can have a competitive market advantage in that space where they have high-end art hanging in their homes to make it better. And it's a great opportunity for you, because now you can make sure that people live with your art and have that type of relationship with your art, which is something you cannot get in an exhibition. In a regular exhibition, people will not know how it is to live and consume your art in that way. Then we have the vending machines. You can exhibit and sell your art through vending machines. Now, the beautiful thing about this is that you can sell your art on multiple locations at the same time. completely automating the sales process for you there. And on top of that, I have seen art vending machines sell out in less than a day. Next up, we have the exhibitions that are not created to get a lot of people coming to the exhibition, but that are created to get a lot of publicity, a lot of eyeballs online or in magazines or anything like that. A great example of this is JR, who did an exhibition in the middle of a war zone at the border of Palestine and Israel. Another great example of this is Prada, who created the shop in the middle of the desert. Now, not a lot of people went to that shop and bought stuff, but a lot of people wrote about that in their magazines. Another great example is exhibiting your art in space in the universe with, for example, the Orbital Reflector project, the $1.5 billion project. I mean, an exhibition in space. That's very thought-provoking. Now, I don't say these things because you are going to have an exhibition in space. That's a very unrealistic thing, but you can use that same tactic, that same way of thinking to create your exhibition, your own type of exhibition. I'm thinking, for example, an exhibition in the middle of the jungle, or an underwater exhibition, or an exhibition where you connect a couple of air balloons to one another with air bridges or something like that, or just an exhibition in the desert. Nothing wrong with copying Prada there and doing something different with it, or an exhibition on the North Pole. I mean, the ideas are endless in this one. Next up is self-hosting your exhibition. Now, what you could be doing here is renting out a gallery space of a gallery and hosting an exhibition there of your own work. You can do that. But you could also go a cheaper route, and that is to go to a store in a high foot traffic street that is being sold, and then you go to the owner of the building and you tell them, hey, I can help you sell your property faster by organizing an exhibition, inviting high net worth individuals to watch my art, and in the meantime, watch your property with a good glass of wine in their hands. Now, most owners of buildings understand that is the way they want their building to be seen. And if you're smart about it, you choose a location during a big art event. When I was exhibiting during the Friese Art Week in London, there was a guy very close to our art fair location who rented out a shop, like storefront, like gallery space. It wasn't even in a high foot traffic street, and it was kind of hidden. It was not that visible. Now, this guy was not famous. He had 300 Instagram followers. He didn't market his exhibition in any way whatsoever. And when I asked him how it went, how his exhibition was going, he told me eventually that he already made $8,000 in the first week, completely covering his cost and some. Now, this guy during that event made more money than I did, even though I was part of the official art program and he wasn't. And so this is a great opportunity. If you can connect it to these art events, then, I mean, you can easily make 5 figures a month just doing this alone. And the last one on this list is one that nobody thinks of, and that is to create art shows of other artists for other artists. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Dries, but that's an exhibition for another artist, not an exhibition for myself. Let me explain. By creating exhibitions for other artists, you are helping, you are giving. You are giving to the gallery because you are giving them 40% of the sales and doing all of their work. You're also giving to the artists because you're giving them exhibition opportunities and sales. And so as a result of all of that, those galleries will be likely to recommend you. Those artists will be likely to recommend you and invite you for exhibitions that they will have in the future. And so by curating art shows, you create exhibition opportunities in the future. Now, if creating all of those exhibitions is way too much work, it's way too much effort, and you want to go towards an alternative, there's one other way, and that is to sell directly to the customer, directly to art collectors online. If you're interested in that, watch one of my sales videos. A great one to start is how to sell art on Instagram without having a lot of followers. My name is Dries Ketels, and remember, art is the only necessity.